Our work is finished, Liu Kang.
Lord Raiden,
It falls upon you to architect a new history.
then together, let us begin.
Cease, Liu Kang, before you doom us all.
Shang Tsung?
In defeating Kronika, you destroyed her crown. Without it, you can't restart history. Send me into the past to steal the crown from my island before the hourglass shatters.
Why are we listening to this snake?
Because I am a snake who's toiled beside Kronika, learning her secrets. I know them. Do you?
We need help.
But whose help?
Welcome back, Your Highness.
What have you done?
I must ask, sorcerer, how long before you betray us?
I find your lack of faith amusing.
She can aid us against Kronika.
I was her protector for life.
Shang Tsung. He's become far too dangerous. And I doubt his new allies realize quite how dangerous he is.
No one can predict what happens next. Not even me.
Alright, well, welcome back to another Mortal Kombat 11 video. Today we're going to be talking about Aftermath, the DLC story expansion pack that's going to be dropping tomorrow. Today we're going to be talking about Shang Tsung, Sindel, other characters returning, and new DLC characters coming in. To start it off, I guess I can just go by saying that Liu Kang is ending off the entire story mode by restarting the timeline with Raiden. The thing is that Shang Tsung comes in with the fucking portal with Fujin and Nightwolf. Now, when they showed that in the trailer, it was a little bit misleading, the fact that Shang Tsung has betrayed Earthrealm so many times that it's so weird to see him come with Fujin, the Wind God, and then after that try to act all natural and cool. The thing is that Shang Tsung actually worked with Kronika while building the time glass, so apparently that's what he said. So I guess we gotta go off a limb. But later on, they dropped another DLC trailer showing exactly what they're going to be showing in the story mode. A little bit similar to the original one they showed at first, the teaser and all that. To like, I guess they're finishing off the entire story mode where Shang Tsung gets Kronika's crown, and then he tries to restart the timeline, but Liu Kang stops him this time. So I don't know if it's going to be a crazy paradox, or if it's going to be just a looping ending over and over and over. I don't know how fucked up it's going to be. The cool thing about it though is that apparently Shang Tsung is still alive. He was actually brought back for the DLC way early on, and this DLC is going to be concerning the DLC characters that have dropped over the time, except Joker, Spawn, and Terminator, of course. More just Sindel, Nightwolf, and Shang Tsung. The cool thing though is that Shang Tsung has no power whatsoever to bring back people from the dead, except Quan Chi. But when Sindel was brought back to life, she wasn't a revenant. Now keep in mind that Sindel was never really a bad guy in the beginning. She was always under Shao Kahn's doing, due to the fact that Quan Chi brought her back to life, and then Shang Tsung was killed by Shao Kahn to give her all the power that Shang Tsung had and put it into Sindel. So when Sindel was killed by Nightwolf due to a sacrifice, all the characters that died in Mortal Kombat 9 were brought back in X by Quan Chi. So it's a little bit like weird. Exactly, because ending off Mortal Kombat 11, Kronika took it so far back in time to the dinosaur age, to the Jurassic era, and it was weird to see, I guess, Kronika go back that far in time, and then after that go back even farther when time was created, and then yet Liu Kang was able to restart the timeline, but Shang Tsung came out of nowhere. So I don't know exactly what time lapse or what time era they're in exactly where Shang Tsung just came back. I understand it's one of the many timelines that Kronika has, so I'm going to keep that in mind as well, that maybe Shang Tsung came from another timeline with Fujin and Nightwolf. That's why they're not revenants. Shang Tsung doesn't have the power to bring back revenants from the dead. So once they're revenants, they're revenants. And if not, since Quan Chi was dead, or Quan Chi did die by Scorpion's doing, a lot of the characters were kind of just left on their own. And I'm not exactly sure if they're going to keep the new characters with the old characters kind of thing, like how younger Cassie and then younger Sonya are together. Even though I know Sonya died during the story mode, if Johnny Cage is gonna have his younger self with him the entire time. So a lot of these questions, I don't know if they're gonna be answered at all during this like story mode DLC, which I'm very, very, very excited for. You guys probably have no idea how fucking excited I am for that shit to drop tomorrow. I'm gonna be recording that first thing in the morning when it comes out, and I'm gonna make sure I'm playing it all day. Now, another thing that's gonna be weird and confusing about the entire thing is that I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be another timeline where they're jumping through, or if they're going to be jumping through the story mode of the game. Basically trying to explain if they're going to go back in time or go in the very beginning where Raiden was corrupted still, if Raiden's still going to be there. Because we only see Raiden in the very beginning of the story mode, and that was about it. And then we see him again at Shang Tsung's Teardown Island. I'm very curious if Shang Tsung's going to be a good guy or not, but I don't think so, because he always likes to fuck everybody over at the last second, which is very cool about his character arc. Now the thing about Sindel is that, like I said before, Sindel's not always been a bad guy. So when Sindel's gonna be brought back to life, because we do see her in the story, we do see her in the trailer. That's why I'm really, really concerned on where her character's gonna play at. Because I know everybody's under Katana's ruling, because she's a new Katana Con in NetherRealm or an Outworld, and it's like, it's kind of crazy about all these characters, because Liu Kang's now a fire god and also an elder god as well with Bo' Rai Cho, Kung Lao, and Katana and Raiden. So I'm really curious on where exactly you're going to be throwing them at. Another cool thing about the story mode is that exactly, not the time per se, but more of like if they're going to keep it the same era, if that makes any sense. Basically, if Kronika, because she's alive in the camp, she's alive in the trailer, so I don't know if they're gonna bring her back, or if that was like a cutscene of showing like during the story mode, or like when Liu Kang was breaking through trying to get to the hourglass. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Also, they're bringing back friendships, which is pretty cool. I guess we'll get to my prediction and possibilities. I'm gonna predict that Shang Tsung is gonna be a good guy throughout and then betray everybody at the very end. But my other prediction is, which is a very far-fetched one, is that maybe because Raiden and Liu Kang doesn't trust Shang Tsung whatsoever, but yet Shiva, Katana, and everybody else kind of does. I'm not exactly sure if he came from the right era, because this is the era where Shang Tsung fucked over everybody, but at the beginning of it, he's always done that. So I'm being really, really curious on where exactly you're going to throw him at, if they're going to bring it back as a good guy. Also with Fujin was never pronounced dead, and he was shown in Mortal Kombat X. So in Mortal Kombat 11, I'm really curious on how he's going to play the part in the new DLC expansion. What I'm very, very, very much excited for is just the story in general. Now let me get back on my predictions. My prediction is how they're going to end it. I feel like it's going to be a big time loop over and over and over, since they did show the very last scene of the trailer, Liu Kang walking out of another portal to stop Shang Tsung from stopping the time hourglass, which is very, very, very weird. Now, if they do have the acid pits and they have the soul chamber, all that stuff was destroyed on Shang Tsung's island a long time ago. So I'm not entirely sure what time it's going to be at. So I'm going to predict maybe around like Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2 era, possibly. But as a RoboCop, I'm not very excited for RoboCop since they have Terminator, but he does look cool. He doesn't really look all too promising. I probably won't play with him as much as I want to as Fujin and Shiva, because I really like the other characters more. I like Mortal Kombat characters more than I like, I guess, like guest characters, except Joker. Joker is pretty cool. He just wasn't my favorite out of all of them. Terminator is really cool. I know Terminator gets beat by RoboCop, but still, I'm very, very excited on what they're going to do.
Round